What's up, guys? It's Devin. Card show pickups gonna combine a weekend where I set up at two different shows in a 2-day period. First, there was the Lansing card show, which was on a Saturday, September 27th. That is a monthly show that's inside the Lansing Mall. Typically around 200 or so tables. This time it was much larger. It was around 350. He expanded all the way down the mall and filled a lot of space. The show runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I set up with two tables at that show. So that was on the Saturday. Then on the Sunday, drove to Ohio for the Grove City Card Fest hosted by B Sports Cards and Card Collector 2 out in Ohio. That was on Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's also set up with two tables there. So back-to-back show days, Saturday and Sunday. Was doing a little bit of everything, buying, selling, trading. Ended up not getting and bringing home as much new inventory as I was hoping. For being at two shows and having that many tables, I am being a little bit picky with how the card market is, and everything is so sky high in pricing. I am concerned about some of it dropping and not wanting to pay super strong on some stuff. So didn't bring home as much as I wanted to, but I felt like I was smart in my decision making, so I was okay there. Between the two shows, I ended up spending $2,932, and I brought home $3,101 in inventory. Now that $2,932 includes my cost for attending the shows, which ended up being close to like $600, a little bit above. So, I mean, if you took that away, then technically you could say I was into the inventory for $2,300 when it was valued at $3,100. But I'm including my cost of the shows in there. So it's going to be pretty close to a break-even type of show, which sometimes isn't the worst thing in the world. You still sell and trade stuff at the show, which ends up making it worth it, but still a lot of travel and hours to bring home this little of inventory. But like I said, I've been very picky as of recently. So we will go over show one. This is all the inventory from Lansing. Got a mix of sports and Pokemon. We'll kind of just run through some of this stuff. Prism Steph Curry, I believe it's like a white laser, is out of 275. Melmetal, VMAX, Rainbow, Charizard Black Star promo, Erica's Invitation, SIR, Zerora VMAX, Galarian Gallery, Mew EX from Celebrations, Charizard V Black Star promo, Charizard V-Star Black Star promo, Bulbasaur, Illustration Rare, Vaporeon V Black Star promo, and a Navern V. I think that's just considered like a ultra rare. Have to go back and double check that one. Couple better things. Bowman Megabox Auto, James Wood Prospect Auto. That is an on-card autograph, though. To my knowledge, should be, yeah. And then Obsidian Rookie, Electric Etch Blue of Alperin Sengun as a PSA 9. It is serial numbered 1 out of 16. So 1 out of 16 rookie for Alperin Sengun. And then some other stuff. This is the better Pokemon. One that's I'm going to throw into grading, a Drapion V Galarian Gallery. And then you got the Shiny Vault Charizard VMAX Raw. A Topps Chrome Human Torch Black out of 10. The SIR Charizard EX from 151. And then a Mewtwo V-Star BGS 9.5 fighting Charizard there in the background. The Galarian Gallery. So that was some of the better Pokemon from the show. Then this other stuff is kind of some of the bulk that I buy when it comes to Pokemon. If you're ever a seller on stuff like this, base Vs, EXs, GXs, V-Stars, VMAX, Rainbow VMAX, V-Star, cheap PSA slabs, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be willing to offer pretty fair amounts on this stuff in large quantity. You got some V-Stars, some Vs. Nothing too crazy in here. Sandaconda, Incineroar, and a Pidgeot. And this is going to be more of that bulk stuff. I won't go in too deep into it, but V-Stars, the Vs, EXs, and that's even more Vs and EXs there on the back. So that was everything from show 1. I will, in between the 2 shows here, I'll showcase some of the stuff that I traded for. This was a mix of trading at the Lansing show on Saturday and a mix of trading for stuff in the Ohio show on Sunday. So a tier 1, Ivan Rodriguez, a.k.a. Pudge, auto out of 49. And then a Wyatt Langford tier 1 auto red out of 25. And then an Uptowns PSA 10 of Justin Jefferson. I think that was all the sports stuff that I traded for. This was the Pokemon. A couple Black Star promos. Magneton. 2 of those. And the Aerodactyl V. And then you got the Obsidian Flames ETB Charmander as a PSA 10. Looking outside, you got Pidgeot. I don't know if there was anything else. I think it's just 2 Pidgeots. And then you got the Bulbasaur illustration rare as a PSA 8.5. So that was everything from Lansing on Saturday in the trades. Now I'll go over everything from Sunday in Ohio. A few things to grade. From the new Mega Evolution set, I figured these would be nice to get in quick, and they look pretty decent condition. Mega Abomasnow EX, Mega Absol EX, Mega Genghis-Khan EX, and a Mega Camerupt EX. And also you got a select, I think it's White Flash. I'd have to go. There's so many parallels that I'm not familiar with now in Modern, but I believe it's White Flash, Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be the club level and serial numbered out of 199. So that is 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that I'm going to be throwing out to grading, plus the Drapion from the Saturday show. So 6 cards that I found to send out for grading, which isn't too shabby. Those were definitely on the cheaper side, though. There's nothing crazy. No big cards for grading. Then a Mosaic Michael Irvin Genesis as a 10. Luis Robert Purple Refractor PSA 1010 Rookie Auto. Serial number out of 250. And the Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies. Full art as a PSA 10. That was some of the better cards from Sunday. Here's some mid-tier stuff, nothing too crazy. Blaziken illustration rare. Charizard from XY Evolutions, but unfortunately I bought it as LP just based off the borders. Originally the seller thought it was around LP, NM, near mint. I said it was LP based off the the corners. Ended up when I got it home and looked at it, there was a bunch of scratching all over the card. So unfortunately I had to put it at HP because it is pretty beat up on the surface. So paid a little bit too strong on that one, but my fault for not really giving it too much of a glance in person. Reshiram and Charizard GX Tag Team, Venusaur EX, the SIR from 151. A Colossal Patch Auto, or Jersey Auto, I should say, because it's just one color, of Tyreek Hill from NT out of 49. And then the Salamence EX SIR. And then graded, you got a Joe Burrow 2020 Select Die Cut White as a PSA 9. That is going to be the premier level. That's all the better stuff. Everything else that's in these stacks right here is just the bulk stuff that I buy. This is going to be some stuff for, I believe, my dollar binder. Throw some of that stuff in there. And then this is some stuff that is just priced a little bit more, maybe like 2 to 9. Nothing too crazy in there. But some things, some illustration rares, Galarian Galleries, VMAXs, stuff that's going to be priced around that $2 to $3 range. Those were all considered LP. or $2 to $9 range, and then a Heatran VMAX ended up being MP there on the Heatran. And then another stack of the cheap Vs, GXs, EXs, stuff like that, V-Stars, VMAXs. Again, if you're ever looking to sell this stuff in large quantity, I am a buyer of this stuff in large quantities or small quantities. It doesn't really matter. I'm just a buyer of it in general. So there's more of that for Pokemon also. But that was everything. There was no big hitters. There wasn't anything crazy. I want to say like that Mewtwo V-Star BGS 9.5 with the graphic fighting Charizard in the background was probably one of the most valuable items from either of the shows. I think it was singles-wise. And then on Sunday in Grove City, I did pick up a pair of sealed product. I had a Mega Evolution Lucario Pokemon Center ETB and a Mega Evolution Gardevoir Pokemon Center ETB. So 2 Pokemon Center Mega Evolution ETBs were thrown in there also. But that was everything. Like I said, didn't pick up as much as I wanted to for attending 2 shows that were on the medium size for shows. But I'm being fairly picky, and I don't want to get, head underwater with inventory that is on the downfall because it had such a large spike. So a little picky. This is what I did pick up. Still happy with everything I picked up overall. But that was everything. Thank you for watching. That was a card show pickup video. Everyone have a great day, and don't forget to smile. Later, guys.